We start tonight with accused killer Bryan Kohberger and his attempts to avoid the death penalty. Attorneys claim he has autism, and now they're trying to use his diagnosis to get the death penalty taken off the table. Thanks for joining us for Fox 13 News at 5. I'm Matthew Smith.
And I'm Hannah Kim. The 30-year-old is charged in the stabbing deaths of 4 University of Idaho students. His trial is set for this summer.
Now, if convicted, Kohberger could face the death penalty, which is why his attorneys are trying to strike it before the trial begins. Fox 13's Shira Matsuzawa is joining us now to talk about what Kohberger's attorneys are arguing.
His attorneys say a doctor has evaluated him, and they say his autism has had significant impact on his daily life. Today, though, I talked with an expert who tells me the fact that the defense is raising this even before the trial starts is unique, and it has potential to set precedent.
In this case, where jurors will be forced to determine whether Bryan Kohberger will live or die, Mr. Kohberger himself is essentially a piece of evidence to be examined and evaluated. Kohberger's attorneys writing that last month as they ask the court to strike the death penalty from his case if he's found guilty. He's accused of murdering University of Idaho students Xana Kernodle, Madison Mogan, Kaylee Gonsalves, and Ethan Chapin in an off-campus home in November of 2022. The defense now arguing Kohberger has autism.
It's been done before.
John Bloom is the Samuel Leibowitz Professor of Trial Techniques and the director of the Cornell Death Penalty Project. He's seen his share of intellectual disabilities used in capital punishment cases.
The Supreme Court of the United States said in a 2002 case, Atkins versus Virginia, that people with intellectual disability, or what we used to call mental retardation, can't be sentenced to death and can't be executed.
But autism is not considered an intellectual disability, rather a developmental disability. And the Supreme Court has not said the same thing about people with autism spectrum disorder. Kohberger's attorneys say people with autism spectrum disorder, like Kohberger, exhibit many of the very same impairments as people with intellectual disabilities.
They're not saying, look, he can't be found guilty of murder. He can, just like somebody with intellectual disability can be found guilty of murder. But because of this severe developmental disorder, he doesn't have sufficient moral culpability to justify putting him to death.
The 28-page motion filed also cites news organizations and online videos calling Kohberger's mannerisms signs of guilt, like his deadpan look and robot-like walk, posting that his facial expressions and body language prove he is a, quote, murderous incel. His atypical eye contact, including an intense gaze, has also been called sinister. But the defense says these are traits of his autism. Bloom says autism has been raised in other cases, but at trial. The fact that Kohberger's attorneys are raising this before his trial doesn't happen often and could have the potential to change the law.
I think there's an opportunity for a court to say, either as a matter of state law, state constitutional law, federal law, that we're not going to allow people with autism to be sentenced to death.
Kohberger's trial is scheduled to start in August. In the newsroom, Shira Matsuzawa, Fox 13 News.